Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, TheRumpledOne. Sunday, January 14th, the year 2018. Weekly open and gap. Let's see what's going on. I know some of you may be watching the NFL playoffs. I'm just so happy the Steelers got beat. Money and risk management, for those of you just tuning in, really important. It's real simple. Risk is the $1% you're willing to lose. If you decide what your stop loss is, then you adjust your position size. If you determine your position size, then you figure out what your stop loss is. It's that simple. It really doesn't have much to do with what's on the chart, because you pick your stop loss according to the chart and it'll tell you what your position size should be. Okay, we've got the gaps already. Looks like about half of them have filled, but we've got action. You can see here the weekly on the weekly chart here, the euro gapped up, and it's gapped up 7 pips. So it'll probably close. So there's a trade you can take and make money. Last week everything filled. Now somebody asked me where to get this indicator. This is the TRO 2017 dashboard. So there's a whole bunch of different functions on the dashboard. No, this isn't advertising. I'm just answering a question. Okay, I'm answering a question. So if we look through here, I guess I went past it. And we got price, spread, gap right there. There's the gap. So you can see here there's all these different functions, and one of the functions is the gap. We want the weekly gap, and it'll show it. You could do it for the gap. The daily usually doesn't have much of a gap, maybe 1 or 2 pips, but that Friday close to Monday open, Sunday if you're in the US it's Sunday, but it's technically Monday where your broker's opening. You get that gap, and so that's how we do that. Oh, and just in case somebody wants to know how do I do this, I use my notes indicator here. That's free to download, and that's how I do that. Set the font size, the fill size, etc. And you can put in your notes, and you can put in choose what colors they are. So just in case somebody's wondering, and I did the same thing here, just using the my notes. It's one of those simple indicators, and nobody did it till I came along. So it's one of those things. It's like, why didn't I think about putting wheels on suitcases? Anyway, so back to this, the gap. You can see here it's starting to head towards that gap. We look at the daily chart here. We can see euro popped out big on Friday. Now it looks like we're coming back. I wonder if I should put the mid dots on here. I just like the mid dots. And this is the same indicator, but here we're looking at close open on the daily, high to close, close to low, just to see how price is moving. And we've got the range there. And why do I have the period separators? I think because one time I had this on H1, and we just want to see how things happen throughout the day. That's why I had the period separators on there. So when you're on the daily, it separates monthly as opposed to weekly. Too bad you don't have that option. Okay, moving along here, you can see here we've got the buy zone trade. It triggered, pulled back right here. You probably should have taken your profit off the table when it dropped below that previous high, because now it's heading this way. Okay, simple stuff, guys, simple stuff. And let me see. There's a few traders that made nice comments on the videos saying, don't let the naysayers get me down. No, they don't get me down. It's just that, when they impugn my reputation, I just don't like that, because, it's one of those things where, if I was, the president of the United States, yeah, getting slammed. But, this isn't politics. This is trading. Maybe it's worse than politics, because so many people out there trying to protect their turf and you know, by knocking me down, then maybe they get somebody to, you know, buy their crappy indicator or something. I don't know. It's just you know, it's when people are dealing with money, they get real funny over the stupidest stuff sometimes. But you know, those guys over on MLQ5 who, you know, say all that stuff. Hey, if you guys want to do something, yeah, go over to MLQ.5 forums, log in over there, and then, you know, start posting charts showing my indicators, and that'll just ruffle their feathers. Okay, enough of that nonsense. On to the rat zone. You can see here the zones are overlapping. There's no rat zone trade at the moment. And the pivot point, here's your pivot point. If you fade the pivot point, you'll be looking to pick it up around 35. That would be a nice trade if it takes out that daily pivot. Okay, oh, let's see, we were looking at price action here. Somebody was asking me about the price action indicator. Oh, see, I forgot to do it again. Where were we? Showing what indicators are being used. I'll just do them quickly. Don't want to be accused of advertising. But people want to know, it's like, what indicators are on your chart there? And you see here the main one is the SDK pivots that I modified. I just made a few interesting mods here. I can't even remember what they all are. I think I added the weekly and the monthly onto it so you could get them all in one indicator. Let's see. Oh yeah, shading the central pivot range. I think I did that, and showing the future pivot point, and then be able to turn the indicator on and off without having to remove it, reload it, and all that kind of stuff. I think that's pretty much what I did. There might have been something else, but nothing that's really that important. So there's pivots. Okay, here we go. Somebody was asking about the training wheels and the price action here. The price action training wheels. It's just, you know, what I've told you about price action. And so the indicator is just training wheels. If you know, if you're having trouble, it's like, okay, it's telling you to wait right now. It's saying definitely do not buy, and put the big, you know, the idiot mode skull up there. Training wheels, PA, idiot mode, true. But you know, you can turn that off if you don't want to see that nonsense on your screen. But I like to have it on mine, so it's just a reminder. It's telling me what not to do. Because sometimes, you know, we're all looking for trades. It's so easy to find a trade. But if you say, okay, here's a trade. Now, let's apply the scientific method. Let's try and find all the reasons why we shouldn't take that trade. Okay? So that's what we do. Scientific method. We're looking to see, give me reasons why I shouldn't take that trade. Keep me out of trouble. So it's telling you do not buy. It's not a turn trade, so you don't have the price action in your favor. Okay, here we go. Just the 5 lines. The high, the close, the mid, the open, and the low of the previous day. And so you can see here, we haven't crossed the line, but this is where we'll be looking to trade if it comes south. The wick zone right there, not much of a wick zone on the euro either case. Now let's see, this is going into what, the 3rd week of the month. I don't know if somebody else wants to call out a pair rather than watching the euro. Feel free, because tell you the truth, I usually don't trade the euro. I like trading dollar yen. Just need one pair, that's all. Right here we're looking at the highest open, lowest open. Here right now looks like we might be getting a new low, depending if that candle pushes down or not. So right there was the lowest open of the day. Oh, wait a minute, am I forgetting again? I have to get used to doing this for you guys, that way you know what's going on. Okay, squigglies. Oh, yeah, I need to do a new squiggly. I think I should do stochastics. I think I've been saying that, so I'm going to have to shoot a video soon. And then the, wait a minute. I didn't show that. Let's see. We got last red-green candle. Yeah, I turned that off on this one. I think I turned the turn trade. No, that one's still on. But the main thing is the MA. It's a EMA 5. I modified it a long time ago. Oh, let's see. I guess I turned off the tunnel. Maybe we should turn that one back on. Have all those different the SMAs there, because you know some people like to use the 20 to 50 and the 200. More power to you. And then this I'm still working with the tick chart, figuring this out. I made a few changes last week. I remember I decided to add seconds to it so we can really look at it, and then put in some training wheel type of things. So I made an observation, and right now I've got the open set to the H1 open. I think I have the open set to the H1. Let's see. Nope. My symbols. Huh. Oh yeah, I remember how I did it. See, I'm on the M1, and so these are the M1. This is the M1 open. And what I've noticed is you can see if it's going down for a while, price goes down, but then if the bid crosses above it, then price is going up. If the ask crosses below it, then price usually goes down. Now, you might only be able to, you're on a tick chart here, so you're only looking to scalp for like 1 to 3 pips unless it's just running your way. But you're really not looking for those home run trades. This is just, jabbing at the market here and really make your broker happy. But I noticed that because, see, most of these pairs have like a 1 or 2 pip spread. We're looking 1 to 1. And you see here, if you can just capture that price action, because it's really not moving that far. I mean, from here to here is only 3 pips. So if you really want to get in there and trade, and it's almost like a video game, but it just really gets you in at a good position. Because when the price opens, you're going to have to gain 1 pip either way. So if you wait for it to move, then you get stuck in the middle and you wind up with losing trades. People say, why do you have losing trades? Well, maybe it's hesitation, maybe your timing is just off. But that's just something that I've been noticing. And the blue line is the lowest ask, and the red line's the highest bid. Now, one thing I have to warn you guys, if you change time frames, you lose all that data because it's tick. So the indicator's taking it in. So now I switched over to H1, so it just starts over. Otherwise I'd have to dump data to disk or set up a bunch of arrays inside the indicator, and it's just like, no, that's not the intention. That's not my intention for this indicator. So anyway, that's it. Hey, thanks everybody. Oh, remember down here, subscribe and click the bell so when I do when I make a new video, you get alerted so you can come watch it. And like I said, let those guys on those other forums know that I'm not some scammer, douchebag, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, thanks again. And as always, fellow traders, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. TheRumpledOne signing off to start draining the banks for the week. And I'm so glad the Steelers got beat. I am so glad, because if they went to the Super Bowl, I wasn't going to watch it.